Disclaimer, all events, people, and some places in this video are fictitious. In other words, I made this shit up. None of this really happened. It is for entertainment purposes only. Thank you, and enjoy the video. Devonte Jones and Sarah Murbumfree were the perfect couple. Or were they? Today, we'll be looking at the Murbumfree case and how this couple's perfect life all went downhill. Hello, people of the internet, and welcome to They Make Monsters, where we tell the true crime stories others are too afraid to. I hope you're wrapped up in a blanket eating popcorn because this case is truly something. Devonte and Sarah looked like the perfect couple. They had just bought a house together in Sydney, Montana to be closer to Sarah's family. Sarah had just started a job as a pediatrician, and Devonte landed a job at a local funeral home as an embalmer. They were living the American dream on the surface. But some people noticed something's off about the couple. Sarah's little brother, Clyde Murbumfree, who asked to remain anonymous, said he would notice bruises on Sarah, especially on her neck, and when he asked about it, she shrugged it off. Sarah's parents also said they got a bad vibe from Devonte and that he was from the wrong side of town. Devonte was from a suburb in Connecticut. But then tragedy struck. On November 13, 2015, Sarah's body was found, shot dead in Nutter Memorial Park. Devonte was nowhere to be found, except the nearby Dairy Queen, where he was found. Being Sarah's boyfriend, and being the only black person in Montana, Devonte was the prime suspect. Devonte claims that at the time of the murder, he was at Dairy Queen. But to the family and the authorities, his story seemed suspicious. When asked why his fiancée was walking alone in the park at night, Devonte seemed defensive, stating, "I don't control what she does. I just wanted Dairy Queen. Yummy, yummy Dairy Queen. I love Dairy Queen so much. It's so yummy in my tummy. I wish I could eat Dairy Queen until I got so fat that I burst in front of a children's hospital, traumatizing them. Dairy Queen is worth several children's souls. Wait, what are we talking about? Oh, yeah, my dead girlfriend." Clearly, something was up with Devonte's story, because no one likes Dairy Queen that much. But the story would only get more strange when police investigated Devonte and Sarah's house. When police investigated the home of the couple, they were astounded. The house looked normal on the outside, but then police searched the basement. They found handcuffs, rope, gags, and a whole host of torture devices. Clearly, Devonte had been planning something for a while. What else would someone have all this equipment for? Devonte maintained that he was innocent, but when questioned about the equipment, he refused to elaborate. However, investigation of the crime scene would only raise more questions. Police were alerted to the scene of the crime from reports of gunshots nearby, but when they found Sarah, she was already dead. She had been shot once in the chest, once in the shoulder, and the ground had been shot several times. It appeared that the killer had missed a total of 15 times. Devonte, having grown up in the suburbs of Connecticut, had never handled a gun, so it was more likely that he was the killer. But that's not all. The bullets found at the crime scene were from a .75 12mm handheld pistol. The problem was that this was nowhere, Montana, and everyone has guns in nowhere, Montana. Everyone, except Devonte. However, Devonte could have borrowed a firearm from a friend, so he was still on the suspect list. But the question remained, where was the weapon now? Police didn't find the weapon at Devonte's house, nor did they at any of his neighbors' or friends' houses, proving there was no way that Devonte could have gotten the firearm. And the Dairy Queen security cam footage confirmed that Devonte couldn't have been at the park at the time of Sarah's murder. So the killer remained a mystery. For now. However, a new suspect emerges when police search Devonte and Sarah's phones. When police looked at Sarah's phone, they found that she had shared many sexually explicit texts and pictures with a man named Thomas Preston, a 56-year-old man whose second house was nearby. Thomas had been in town for a business trip away from his wife and 5 kids. While on this business trip, Sarah had come to his house multiple times where they engaged in sexual intercourse. More investigation proved that Devante knew about Thomas and had also engaged in sexual activity with Thomas. In return, the couple got an allowance of $7,500 a week. Devante and Sarah shared several texts stating, "We're scamming this mother out of his crusty, and he has to know we're just doing this for money, right? No way he actually thinks we want his tiny, limp." But there was nothing else linking Thomas to the scene of the crime. Or was there? Logs on Sarah's phone showed that she had been at Thomas's house right before the murder. But that's not all. Police discovered texts between Sarah and Devante right before, talking about them discovering that Thomas has a wife and kids, and Sarah going to confront him while Devante went to Dairy Queen. But the question remained, where was the weapon? When police searched Thomas's house, they found no trace of the weapon used in the crime, but they found something equally damning. Thomas's bank account records show he had paid $2,000 to Death Not a Hitman on Venmo half an hour after the crime. Police investigated further and found that the account belonged to William Corner, who had recently posted an ad on Craigslist for, "If you need someone taken care of, but not in a hitman way, I am definitely not a hitman. Wink." Police investigated his house and found the exact .75 12mm handheld pistol used to kill Sarah. William immediately confessed to the murder. He told police that it was his first day as a hitman, explaining why he had missed so many times. He also told police that it was in fact Thomas that hired him to kill Sarah. With all the evidence they needed, police arrested Thomas and William. On December 18, 2015, William was charged with conspiracy to murder and was given a 10-year sentence with the possibility of parole. Thomas, on the other hand, was charged with first-degree murder and conspiracy to murder and was sentenced to 30 years in jail without bail. Shortly after, his wife divorced him and took his money, saying, "I hope you rot in jail, you cheating I'm taking this money and marrying Jeffrey from accounting. F you, I've always hated you." Devante ended up moving out of Montana and is now living happily with his wife and their son. And thus concludes the Murbumfree case. This has been They Make Monsters. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories that the media is too afraid to tell. And always remember, go to Dairy Queen. It could be your alibi.